Hi everybody, Mike Pfeiffer with Pfeiffer Hobby. Today I'm going to do update 12. It's going to be kind of a mix match of several things that I wanted to tell you guys today. Anyway, like I say, it's not all going to be train related, but I hope you enjoy it, so here we go. Okay guys, the first thing I was going to tell you is I went and picked up my new car today. It's not really new, but the damn transmission shop has had it for a month this time. Actually about a month and a week. When they rebuilt the transmission, they had it for a month and a half. And I finally had to go over there and lose my temper and tell them to get to work on the car. Anyway, went and got it today, got it back. It seems to shift fine, shifts into gear fine, and so forth. That's enough about that. Let me show you something else. Okay everybody, this is our new addition. Let me see if I can get her. She doesn't stand still very long. This is Emma. We got her from a rescue in Peralta, New Mexico. She was scheduled to be put to death. We got her. She's about 1.5 years old. She's a cross between something and a dachshund. Let me swing back around. So far, she's very, very good. She's a little on the skittish side, but aside from that, she sleeps all night. She goes to the bathroom outside. She doesn't bark. Anyway, I was just going to introduce you to Emma. Em, can you look at Dada? Hi. Okay, gang, enough of that. Obviously, we've been outside, so my glasses are dark. I'd had to answer the phone a couple of times, but I'm just going to swing around, show you what I've been doing here, and maybe explain how I do it just a little bit. And what I'm going to show you right now will be kind of evident. So let's turn around and take a look. Okay, I got up on a stool here so you can see, and I think I may have shown this in the previous video. But as you can see, I just took all my cuttings and put them in here as filler so that when I put my plaster cloth and stuff in, I'll have something to hold it up. Anyway, I'm stepping down off the stool. What I wanted to show you is this turnout is now level, or the foam is now level with that turnout. And how I did that is I measured what it was from this 2-inch foam when it was sitting down on the other 2-inch foam, and it was 3/8 of an inch. Well, it turns out that 3/8 of an inch is about what 2 layers of HO cork give you. So what I did is I put some strips, double strips of cork underneath here, and then hot glued this down to the strips of HO cork. And I now have a flat surface to run this turnout onto and to put industries in here. Then I went back with the hot wire cutter, and right in here I put a cutout. I'm going to put a culvert across here that'll run out onto the edge right here. I just thought that would add a little bit of visual interest. You can see that this level part now makes the track in the back there much lower. Actually almost 1.5 inches lower. So it visually brings most of this track out to the front edge. So anyway, enough about that. I did get underneath the layout and solder all my connections lately and tied them all up. I do now have this reversing section working. I do have that reversing section working, which leads us around to what I'm going to talk about today. Okay, you can see that I've obviously added my plaster cloth all the way around, all the way down to here, right here. I put filler in there, and I'll explain that in a minute. I put filler in there, and then I put the plaster cloth flat on there, and then when I get it figured out where I'm going to put the mine building and all that, then I'll build the mountain behind it afterwards. Let's see. Over here where I told you I was going to do a cut, I did a cut. And I'm going to step down off this stool here in a minute, and I'm going to show you how, and I told you also that I was going to hide that reversing section, and I'm going to step down. I'm actually up at about maybe 6'8" right now. A little more than 6'8", maybe 7 foot. I don't know. I'm taller than the doorway. So, but anyway, let me step down here and give you my eye, which I'm 5'5". This is what I see at 5'5". I see the cut right here. I do see a little bit of the track once in a while, and I do have some hills that block some of the scenery. Okay, trying not to make you dizzy here. And then I built this up somewhat right in here so that we don't see, what we don't see is the reversing section. Now I'm going to kind of show you exactly how I did it. Okay, when I say I put in filler, like I was showing you over on the other side, I use a bunch of foam blocks and stuff left over. I have a bunch of riser left over, anything in there to take up space. Then, as you can see here, I wet newspaper and I crumple it up and put it where however high I want that scenery to be. Then I come back and put one layer of plaster cloth on. And I know there's guys and Woodland Scenics and everybody tells you to put multiple layers because it makes it rock hard and strong and all that. Well, I'm not going to be laying on it, so I don't give a crap whether it's rock hard or strong. All I care is that it is going to support my ground plaster that I put on. And I'm going to move down here. I got to move the stool. I'm going to move down here and kind of show you the difference in the textures. Okay, I'm going to try and get a little bit close here, and you can kind of see the texture over the top of my plaster cloth here versus the regular plaster cloth. And no, I don't go to all the trouble of running my finger over it and smoothing it all out. I don't go any of that trouble. I just put it there as a rigid structure to hold up the plaster that I'm going to put on top of it, which is gypsolite. And it is, we sell it, and I can't remember, I think it's made by Scenic Express, or put together by Scenic Express. It's just a plaster mix. I take a lot of the texture out of it because it's textured for basically larger scales. And then I just mix it, mix a bunch of it at a time, mix it kind of thin, and I brush it right on top of the existing plaster cloth. And I get it to where I hopefully don't have any showing seams or anything like that in the plaster cloth. I did notice I do have a crack in this, but it looks okay. But anyway, I think it works pretty well. There was a product that used to be made by the guys in Albuquerque years ago. It was called Model Mount. The formula for it died with the gentleman who started making it, unfortunately. I tried to get it a couple of times. But anyways, gypsolite is very close. There's also a plaster by Woodland Scenics, and I can't, off the top of my head, I can't think of the name of it, but it does have a texture in it, and I have not tried that. But anyway, we sell the gypsolite in 5-pound containers, and somewhere here I have one. If you hang on a minute, I'll show you. Okay, this is the gypsolite. You can kind of see the texture of it in there. I take some of that larger texture out. It has a pretty long, I like it because it has a pretty long working time. It's not like hydrocal. You mix hydrocal, you got to really, really work quick to get it on and get done. This you don't. You have time to play with it. You have time to kind of mold it, move it around, wet it and move it around. I like it because it has that characteristic. Okay guys, another new thing is that switch cover. I was at Hobby Lobby and I found that the other day, and I said, how can you be a railroader and have a switch on the fascia of your layout and not use that? So anyway, I thought it was pretty cool, so I took the one that I had on there off and now have that one on there. Oh, by the way too, I hung up my trash bucket and my the shop light that's attached underneath here that I use to get around with and plug my foam cutter and all that stuff into. So let's move on. Okay, here's another thing that I added to the train room. This photo football game. I don't know how old most of you are, but that's an iPad, by the way, in case y'all didn't know. And it is playing music, and it's playing Jimi Hendrix music, which almost makes me want to dance, but that's okay. Anyway, it's called Photo Football, and it was made in the United States. It was a real cool game. If you didn't play it when you were a kid, you put plays in it, and it's got a light inside of it, and you pull a slide out, and the offensive and defensive plays, the light shines through it, and where they touch is where the play is made. And then you have spinners that allow you to determine what happens on that play. But anyway, without explaining the whole dang thing to you, I added that to the room. It's much bigger than what I thought when I ordered it, but I'll figure out something to do with it. So basically, I guess for now, guys, that's about it. I just wanted to give you an idea how I was doing the plaster. And hope you enjoyed it today. Okay, everybody, that's it for today. Thought it would be a little longer than that, but I wanted to show you how I do the plaster, or what my technique and thinking is. I know that I'm very simplistic when I do it. It only took me about 45 minutes to an hour to do all that. Easy peasy. And then I'll come back and I'll put the gypsylite on top of it, and then the next step is painting, and maybe I'll get into that a little bit when I get that far. But anyway, hope you enjoyed update 12, and as usual, thanks for watching.